If I were to go for my visa interview in 2026, this is exactly what I would do differently to get approved for the second time. Okay, so in 2023, I went for my visa interview. I woke up early in the morning and I went there. When I got there, I saw thousands of people, a lot of people on there waiting to go inside for their visa interview. I was shocked. Until recently, I decided to check the data again, and I saw on the US Department of State the data, and I saw that the number of people who went in 2025 is way greater than the number of people who went in 2023, 2024. The number of people who went in 2024 is way greater than the number of people who went in 2023, which means that the number of people who would go in 2026 will be higher, is projected to be higher than the number of people who went in 2025. And this tells you one thing: if the number is increasing, denial is also increasing. Okay, and they can't give the visa to everyone. So you have to position yourself. It's called positioning. Position yourself in such a way that you are not going to give the officer a chance, the slightest chance for them to say that, oh, I'm sorry, I can't approve your visa. You don't want to hear that. And so these are the 5 things I would do differently in order to get approved. Okay. The first one is purpose of travel. I wrote everything and I explained it in the book. I have a premium book, and if you need a copy, I'll put a link in the description. All you need to do is to fill it. My team will reach out to you immediately, and in 5 minutes you should get a copy of the book and start reading. And after you read, I'm going to personally reach out to you. We will talk about your next interview for a short while, and I'll give you 1 or 2 tips because you bought my book. Okay, so let's continue. The first one is the purpose of travel. That is, there are 5 things visa officers need from you. So if I were to go for my student's visa interview, I'm going to work on these 5 things to get approved. The first one is purpose of travel. The visa officer is simply there to ask you why you want to travel to their country. Visa officers have the sole backing of the US government. They are backing them under, I think, Section 104A, that they have the right to adjudicate visas. They have the sole backing of the whole US government. So they can deny you, they can approve your visa. Okay. So they are there to ask you why you want to travel to their country. So when you get there, they're going to ask you questions like, why the USA? Why your course? Why now? What is the inspiration behind your course? Why this professor? Like, why, what? Yeah, they're going to ask you mainly around your purpose of travel, why you want to travel, why the USA. This is a common question. So when they ask you all these questions, it falls under purpose of travel. And under the purpose of travel, this is a trick I want to tell you all, and this is how I'm going to use to get approved. Under the purpose of travel, that is a chance for you to tell them about you, for you to tell them about your goals, for you to tell them about what you want to do, to work on. If you tell them that, it's going to be easier to get approved rather than, so when they ask you, example, when they ask you why the USA, now is not the time to tell them about the USA. Oh, the USA is beautiful, it has a good economy. The visa officer already knows that, and they don't want to hear that anymore. They want to know you. So why the USA is about you. I see many videos online of people talking about that. Oh, you have to tell them about the USA, how good the USA is, and how. No, that is not what you have to do. Why the USA is about you, your goals, your plan, and how the USA is going to help you achieve your goals. That is how you have to answer these questions. So the whole thing is centered around a story. I call it a story. And I'm going to talk more on this, but why the USA is about your goals. Okay, so you get a simple story. So for example, you're coming here to do, let's say, civil engineering. So when they ask you why the USA, now is the time for you to tell them about you. Okay, so you start by saying, okay, I've been working on roles in Ghana since after graduation. That is what I've been doing. But I want to up my skills in order to be very an expert in the field of roads. So I want to go to the USA, study. You mentioned, I don't know much about civil engineering, but I'm just using it. You mentioned something, and I would come back to continue with the project I'm working on. I'm working on a road project, which is very important for my country, but there is no expert in that field. That is why I want to go to the USA, receive the best possible education, and eventually come back and help my country. It makes more sense than saying, oh, the US is beautiful, it has a beautiful campus. And so what? You get it? So give them you. It is easier, and I always tell my mentees this, it is easier if someone knows your goals. That is why sometimes you watch Americans Got Talent and someone will come there with a very good story. And everybody's rooting for the person to win. Everybody wants the person to win. Why? He has a story. He has something. He has a purpose. He has something. You get it? So if you go there with a story, you go there with something you want to work on, there's a high possibility that you're going to get approved. Have a goal and let them know your goal. So why now? So why maybe you're 27 years old now that you're going to the US? So why now? What are you going to say? So if I were there, I was going to tell them the projects I've been working on. Okay, maybe for example, you want to come here to do nursing. So, and you completed like 7 years ago. So what have you been doing? So, okay. So since I want to do nursing, I've been volunteering for this big company. We take care of patients. We take care of, sometimes we do outreach where we take care of homeless people who cannot afford their medical bills. That is what I've been doing for the past 7 years. Reasonable, because you want to come here to do nursing and you've been doing something related to nursing, and not only that, you've been helping people, you've been making an impact in people's lives. Okay, so have a clear goal. Don't just go there unprepared. Go there prepared. Let them know your goal. The second thing I would do differently is I would, the second thing visa officers look for, and that is what I'll use to get my visa approved. Let me get water. Okay. The second thing visa officers check for, and that is what I'll use to get my visa approved, is your financial capabilities. This is one thing I think and I believe many people get their visas denied because of that. People get their visas denied based on purpose of travel. When they ask them why the USA, they'll be fumbling. You know yourself, you know your goals, you know your aim, what you want to work on. So let them know that. Just push them that this is my dream. Okay. But for the financial capabilities, now is the time for you to tell them who is going to sponsor you. Your sponsor. How credible is your sponsor? So many people think that if you have a bank statement, and I also see videos of this, oh, you have to get a bank statement, and after you get a bank statement, you are fine. You are not fine. You need to prove that the person sponsoring you is credible enough to sponsor you. They want to be sure, because you don't want to come here and be a burden to the state. No, they want you to come here and be comfortable. They want you to come here and pay your bills. Like, you can do everything. So make sure you have a good amount of scholarship. A good amount of scholarship. Don't come here with like 75,000. It's too huge an amount. People here, citizens of America, suffer or struggle. Many people, majority of the people, struggle to pay 75,000 a year. And you are saying you can pay. Yeah, there are many rich people in your country. I know that. But you are seeing your pastor, or not necessarily, let's say your uncle. It sounds, so that is the time for you to explain the situation. But for me, I would advise you to go only if you have a good amount of scholarship that you can explain well. So when I was in Ghana, I had many schools. Before I got my school, I had a lot of schools. I got into Louisiana State, Arizona State, University of Arizona. University of Arizona even sent me some things. They sent me the shirt, they sent me the cap of the school, even when I was in Ghana, just to persuade me to come to their school. But the scholarship package was very little as compared to the amount I had to pay. So I didn't commit to that school. So you don't have to commit to a school just because they gave you a scholarship. Scholarship is in a way like they'll give you just 10,000. Because they gave you 10,000, you have 50,000 to pay, and you are forced to commit to that school. No. Try and get another school, or try and get more scholarships. Okay, get more scholarships. If you don't know how to, scholarships are not automatic. I'll make a video on this. So get more scholarships, okay? Get more scholarships. The third thing I'm going to do is home ties. If you don't prove home ties, you're going to get denied as a non-immigrant. When you go there, when you stand in front of the visa officer, this is the thing, okay? They are going to ask you about your home ties. Or they might not ask, but you have to let them know that you're going to come back to your home country. In their head, you're coming here to stay here forever, and they don't want that because you're a non-immigrant, and a non-immigrant, you don't have to stay here forever. And even on your I-20, they give you the rules, like you don't have to stay here forever. So that is the time for you to tell them that you're going to come back to your home country. So there are times where they ask you questions like, what are your plans after graduation? What do you want to do after graduation? They want to know whether you want to stay here or not. So all you have to say is, okay, since I plan to do this in Ghana, or since I plan to do this in India, or since I plan to do this back in my home country, I have no interest of staying there, or I don't want to stay there. I want to come back to my home country. There are times where they wouldn't ask you that, what are your plans after graduation? There are times where they are not going to ask you that. So this is a way to prove home ties. You have to link it to your purpose of travel. So as in the beginning, when they say, why do you want to go to the USA? Now is the time for you to tell them. Maybe, for example, you want to do cybersecurity. So you can tell them about the poor cybersecurity infrastructure in your home country. And this is very common in Africa. And so it has been your dream to improve upon that. So you want to go to the USA, study this, study systems, study this, that, and come back and help, or come back and work on a specific project in Africa. Okay, so you've already proven home ties by saying you want to come back. They want to hear that. Okay, some people use land, family, or I have a family there, I have a land there, but as students, there's a tip I'm giving you, and there's also written in my book. I need you to get a copy. Everybody watching should get a copy of this book. It's really going to help you. I have everything. It's a premium book, so it's really going to help you with that. So yeah, people can say I have a family, but as students, okay, tie your career, what you want to do, to your purpose of travel. So they get convinced that you're going to come back. Tie it back, okay? Tie it together. The fourth thing is consistency and honesty. You have to be very consistent. You have to be very, very honest, okay? Be very, very honest. Don't lie. Never lie, okay? Don't lie when you go there. And consistency, what I mean by consistency is the documents, what you say on your documents have to be the same thing on your documents. What's on your documents have to be the same thing you say. So if you fill your DS-160 and you write, you make this amount, and you go there and you say a different amount, you are dishonest. So they can deny you based on that. You are not truthful. And the whole thing about the visa interview is the visa officer want to trust you. Is a transaction. You are going there to sell yourself. Okay, so you go there, sell yourself, and what you want is the visa officer's trust. The visa officer will only give you a visa if he trusts you. If he doesn't trust you, there is no point in you giving you a visa so you come to the country and come and do anything. No, he has to trust you that if I give this person the visa, it is going to really, really, really help him because he has a big dream, he has a big goal. That is why in the beginning I told you have to let them know your goal. Okay, I trust this person. He's very honest. What he said on his DS-160 is the same thing he's telling me right now. Okay, so they are going to say, okay, then let me give this person his visa. They are assessing all these things when you go there. And finally, the last thing I grouped in my book is confidence. You need to be very confident. If I came here and I was very less confident, I didn't know what to say, you were not going to take this video very serious. So be very confident, believe in what you say. And listen to this. If you don't believe in what you say, other people are not going to believe in what you say. So go there, tell them your goal, tell them your passion, how you want to come back and work on a specific project. Okay, tell them that. And also in my book, I gave transcripts of the people who got approved, how they answered the question. And you see a trend in everything. You see that they gave the visa officer their goal, what they want to work on. It's a trend, like that's what they did. People didn't realize that they did that, but they did that. So give them your goal, try to prove home ties, the financial capabilities, try and get more scholarships. The more scholarships you get, It decreases the visa officer's immigrant intent for you, that this person is not going to stay there forever. He's eventually going to come back to his home country and impact. So just let me give him the visa. He's not going to immigrate to the US. So this is your visa. I'm going to approve your visa. So these are the things I would do. I will make sure I give the visa officer my go. I'll prove my purpose of travel very well, very clearly. I would prove well my financial capabilities. And if you have a full scholarship, it's easier because the school is going to take care of everything. Okay. If somebody who is not from your family is going to sponsor you, and tomorrow I'm going to talk about this, it's suspicious. Your call, the person who has to sponsor you should be your parent. So if your auntie's friend or somebody who is not in your close family is going to sponsor you, you have to be ready, very, very ready to explain why he's going to sponsor you, because maybe your parents have been taking care of you and now you're going to the US. So why is he coming in? Is he credible? Is he going to pay? Why? Or you are just lying. So they call that, if you use someone else's bank statement or they call that lying or misrepresentation. So you have to really clear the doubt of misrepresentation in the visa officer's head. Why? So bank statement is not enough, as many people have been saying. If you get a bank statement, oh, you are okay. You are not okay. You have to prove to them. Be confident, be consistent with your DS-160, and you are ready. So let me touch on the things you don't have to do. Okay, let's drink a little bit of water here. Okay, so the things you don't have to do, and I've made a video on this before. There are mistakes you don't have to do. You don't have to do them. There's a visa officer called Visa Officer Maggie. I watched her interview with Kingsford Onyina, and she said she's interviewed more than 25,000 people. 25,000 people. And her number one main reason why she denied a lot of people was these people. What did she say? She said these people, she didn't feel the presence of these people. These people felt like robots. They've memorized the answers. They have memorized certain answers, and so when they ask the question, oh, I'm going to the US to do the expertise, the technical, and she felt that this is not the truth. And so yeah, they've memorized the answers and they are trying to spit everything back to her, but that is not the case. You are going there to be yourself. Prepare. That is very true. But all the answers I gave, you felt like it's natural. I didn't use any big words, so don't use ChatGPT to generate answers for you. It is definitely going to use the technical expertise, these kind of big words, but truly, genuinely, who are you? And like, tell them who you are. That is why in the examples I gave, I didn't give any big words. It is easy than you think. Okay, don't overstress yourself. Okay, have a nice day. I'll see you later on. And yeah, don't lie, don't memorize, always be consistent with your DS-160, and you'll be fine. Okay, all the best. Don't use overly big words. Just go there, be yourself, prove all this. So these are the ways I were going to get and surely I'm going to get approved, because I checked all these 5 things. I'll be consistent. I'll prove my purpose well. I'll be very genuine. So this is what I used for my interview. I was going for nursing, so I said, growing up, I saw many children die in Africa for malaria and cholera. So I want to go to the USA, study very hard, and go back and eventually go back to Ghana and help them fight malaria and cholera in Ghana. I didn't use any big words. I didn't. I just told her my dream. I just told her my goal. I was very genuine, and I got approved. Be yourself. Prove everything well. The fact that, and don't use any scholars, get good amount of scholarships. And very soon I'm going to show you how to apply to GA and other things. So all you have to do is to follow me. If you need more things, more information, just get a copy of my book, Visa Interview Success. Is going to help you. And after you finish reading, I'll give you my email. You send me a message immediately. I reply immediately. So immediately I'll reach out to you. We'll have a one-on-one section, what you've learned, and we will try and do 1 or 2 things for you. It's going to be a short interaction. So you'll take advantage of that just by buying a book from me. Have a nice day.